Hi and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about depth of field. We all know that f2 has a much shallower depth of field than f22, but we're going to talk about what the difference is. So the lens we're going to use is my Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter lens, and we're going to go through the different apertures on this camera and see what the difference is between the different apertures and how much of a difference it really makes. So come along and enjoy this adventure. Well, in this experiment, I am going to use this target here to determine what the depth of focus is in inches here. So the camera will focus on the center part here, that's 0, and then I will be able to determine up and down from there by looking at the pictures. The camera I'm going to use is my Canon 5D Mark III, my Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter lens. I will only be using the 600 millimeter point because that's all I use most of the time when I'm taking pictures of birds. And the shallowest or the widest opening that the aperture will get on this lens at 600 millimeters is 6.3. So I really am expecting that to be a fairly large area of focus to be in, and I'm expecting it to get progressively larger as I'm going or shutting down that aperture, that how much deeper the field of focus is going to be. But I'm really curious as to what the actual numbers are, and I'm expecting them to get pretty large as I'm doing this experiment. So let's get to the experiment. Well, the first picture we're going to take is at 600 millimeters f6.3. As you can see from this picture here, on the positive side is 2/8 of an inch, so 2/8 in front of the target and then 1 1/8 behind the target, which I really did not expect it to be that small. I expected it to be in the 3 or 4 inch range, but still that is respectable, and that's a baseline. So 1 inch 1/8 at 600 millimeters and with the aperture open all the way up to 6.3. Okay, so I moved the aperture 2 clicks, that brought us to f8, and as you can see from this target here, we now have 2 inches of focus on the positive side or behind the target, and we have 1 inch of focus on the negative side or in front of the target. I'm really hoping that 1 inch of focus in the front of the target consistently stays there. If it becomes greater, I might have to adjust my where the focal point is on the camera. But as far as I can see, this is going to be a good thing for me. So I have a little bit of focus in front of the target, and most of my focus is behind the target. But still, our result is 3 inches versus 1 inch of focus at f6.3. So I moved it 2 more clicks, that brought us to f10. At f10, as you can see from this picture here, the amount of increase is shrinking down. So we were 2 inches positive with f8, now we're 3 inches positive and still 1 inch in front of the target that's in focus. And I'm seeing a pattern here with that 1 inch in front of the focus and then behind it, really we're seeing the increase is only 1 inch per 2 clicks on the thing. So we went from 6.3 to 8 to 10, and we're only increasing 1 inch on the positive side of each one of those things. And I really am surprised by this. I expected that to be much more dramatic than that. I expected the field of focus to be much greater than just 1 inch for every 2 f-stops. So I moved the aperture 2 more clicks, brought us to f13, and I was the same pattern step up. We just increased the depth of field by another inch. I was very surprised by that. I expected the depth of field to be the entire target. I expected a huge amount of area to be in focus. Now I've been basing some of that on my use of other lenses I have. I have a 25 to 105 millimeter Canon lens, and if I shoot a landscape picture at f12, f13, and I focus 15-20 feet in front of me, basically I'll get from 15 feet in front of me to infinity. And I kind of expected that with this lens here, and that's not realistic. I mean, it is a zoom lens, so zoom lenses compress things a lot more than landscape wide angle lenses do. So I think that's one of the things that I'm kind of not having a realistic outlook on, but still I'm glad I did this experiment. I'm having some questions in my mind about my methodology. Should I have tried it at different distances? Because I don't know if that would have made any difference, and I think if I do this experiment again, I will do it at different distances. But I think overall, I think I've got a real positive result from this. It is good to know what my field of focus is, and I'm not sure how I'm going to apply this. I mean, I can't imagine using f13 because the shutter was so slow that it really wouldn't be practical for taking pictures of birds or any kind of wildlife. So I think I'm going to end the video there because at this point here, it's not very practical for me to keep moving forward, and I think I got a pattern forming here. I gotta tell you, I was very surprised from the results. I expected a much deeper field of focus to be in focus. But I encourage you to do it. These targets cost like $5 on Amazon. You usually get 2 of them. So I'm going to end the video here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel because that helps us in the YouTube world. Leave your comments below because I respond to every one of them. My name is Leahy, and I want to thank you for watching.